This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double checking on that. All right, let's get to it. We're starting today with the person I was for Halloween, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now, he was grilled by lawmakers on Capitol Hill all about the government's response to the COVID pandemic, including the origins of COVID, social distancing, and masks. Go ahead and take a look.
Americans were aggressively bullied, shamed, and silenced for merely questioning or debating issues such as social distancing.
The accusation being circulated that I influenced these scientists to change their minds by bribing them with millions of dollars in grant money is absolutely false and simply preposterous.
Publicly, you challenged them on the 6-foot distancing rule?
It is not appropriate to be publicly challenging a sister
Do
organization.
you agree that Americans now have lost their trust in science, in lead science from government because of misinformation like this?
Well, when you talk about misinformation, I think that you have to be careful. It's not disinformation. It was information that ultimately proved, when you put the aerosolization in, that
it was not an effective rule to have 6 feet of distancing.
Okay, but a lot of people are talking about Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Things got really contentious with her after she refused to call Fauci as a doctor. Take a look.
Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor, you're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci?
I am a scientist who uses the scientific method to gain information.
Yes, you said you represent science. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci? Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, that's not a yes or no answer.
Yes, it's a yes or no.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, we'll take that as a you don't know what you represent. Because in my time, that man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
Gentlelady would suspend. The gentlelady should recognize the doctor as a doctor.
Congressman Raskin, Jamie Raskin, also asked to change the transcript as well. So what do we all think of Dr. Fauci's testimony? I have the New York Times. I was reading it. He speaks and says, the social distancing that everyone's talking about, says these were important when we were trying to stop, quote, the tsunami of death early on. Sam, I'm going to go to you. You experienced it very personally with the loss of Eric, your brother-in-law, who we love, and also followed your journey. Why are people so angry?
Because it's gotten really political. I looked up the Congress people that spoke against Dr. Fauci, and the ones that spoke against him were anti-vaccine and anti-COVID and didn't believe no masks, nothing. So they're coming from a political standpoint. I just want to remind everyone, whether Dr. Anthony Fauci did everything right or not, he did everything with his body of work, influencing him to make the right decision on behalf of the American people and globally. We lost 7 million people globally. 7 million, you guys, that's insane. 7 million people who are missing their loved ones. I think about my niece and nephew who they're about to graduate elementary school and their dad's not going to be there. He was unvaccinated because the vaccine had not yet come out. And I just want to say that 7 presidencies enlisted their trust in Dr. Anthony Fauci, who, if you look at his credentials, Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're like this long. I was going to list them off.
Too long.
Too long. Too long. This is also somebody who helped with the AIDS pandemic. Why didn't we criticize Dr. Anthony Fauci until it became political a few years ago? So I'm calling BS on those certain Congress people who feel like that this is their time to shame somebody that has given their life, someone that still gets death threats, Dr. Anthony Fauci. His children get death threats. We've seen a distrust now, and I know that we have to be discerning when we choose our doctors. Of course, I'm not saying that our healthcare system is perfect by any means, but we've seen, and both my sister and my other brother are nurses. My brother-in-law, JP, they've seen a lack of, well, you don't know, or this doctor doesn't know, disrespect towards them. Why do we have such disrespect lately to our healthcare workers? Because of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other ones out there who are doing a whole clown show conspiracy theory on Dr. Anthony Fauci. And I think this man should be honored for saving as many lives as he could, especially with the endless disinformation that has been come out by conspiracy theorists. And I'm sickened.
Thank you for that, Sam. Jeff, do you want to say what you want to speak out, why you think people are angry?
Well, I think they should keep the social distancing in play. Trying to lighten the mood here a little bit.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially you and me.
Just stay away. Stay 6 feet away. I'm with that. But I'm not going to push back at all. But I will say the questioning of things during COVID is what I have the problem with. I don't mind them trying their best with the new virus that came out, and they're trying their best to save people. They knew what they knew at the time. My problem is you weren't allowed to question anything, right? If I mentioned vitamin D on here, they're like, don't say that. It's the vaccine. I'm double vaxxed, and I wasn't allowed to question. I wore a mask every day. I wasn't allowed to question. But I had questions, and so do these people. When you put Marjorie Taylor Greene on the screen, the conversation's over.
I agree.
The conversation's over.
Yep.
I just had questions, just like with other movements. I have personal questions because I'm a curious person, not because I'm trying to challenge anyone, because I do have questions. And I just wish the government, in whatever aspect, whether it's COVID or something else, would pull something back. Hey, you know what? We were wrong. But at the time, that's the best information we had. Instead of saying, you shut up and you fall in line and you do this, or don't come to work.
What do you think, Erica?
I think I don't know if it's the not allowing to question, it's being challenged for what you're saying in a moment of, especially during the height of the pandemic. And I'm not saying you personally, I'm just saying in general. You have to also remember that we had a very large political figure telling people, having people under the impression that drinking bleach or some light therapy, there were so many things that people were telling people to do, and people were following those things and losing their lives because of that. As someone who lost 5 people during the course of COVID, 2 directly because of COVID, then also you have to remember all of the healthcare that wasn't able to be taken care of because of COVID. Then you have to consider the people who took their lives because of the depression because of COVID. And this was a national emergency. So if we have one person who has all of these, and it wasn't just one person, Dr. Fauci was just the face. There were so many teams of scientists and medical professionals. And to speak to the disrespect, people are really gonna learn, because going into the medical industry, people are leaving all the time, because no one deserves to be treated this way for trying to help people and save their lives. If you were to say, this person in my family got a cold, then everyone automatically isolates that person, so the whole family doesn't get it.
Thank you.
We saw so many people who ended up, one person got COVID and the whole family was affected. So the idea of social distancing, while it was inconvenient to people, at least you have a life right now to complain about whatever you want to complain about, because there are millions of people who are not here today because of it.
Thank you. And thank you for your testimony, Sam, as well. Coming up on DBL, stick around, because Dr. Coley is going to join the panel to give her take on Dr. Fauci's hearing. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. We've got our very own Dr. Coley joining us. So Dr. Coley, as we talked about in the last segment, Dr. Fauci testified yesterday on Capitol Hill. He revealed the recommendations on social distancing had not been studied. He was also grilled about requiring kids in schools to wear masks. So I want to ask you this, Harvard, MIT doctor, looking back, was the social distancing recommendation just made up? And was it even necessary or helpful? He says, quote in the New York Times, it sort of just appeared.
This is a ridiculous comment. It didn't just appear, it has historical precedent. In fact, it dates back to the 14th century when there was a Black Death. Ships came from Venice. What did they do? They social distanced, they isolated, and they quarantined. Because whenever you have an infectious disease outbreak, as Erica just said, you have an infection that spreads from person to person. You separate the people when you have nothing else to do. And early in the pandemic, we had nothing else to do. And in fact, the mathematical models tell us we saved 800,000 American lives.
Wow.
And we reduced transmission by 65% because we didn't have vaccines. We didn't have virus that had evolved to be kind to us. It was killing people like it killed Eric. And this was the only tool in our toolbox.
Wow.
All right, another question a lot of people are asking about masks in schools for kids and also outdoors, right? People were wearing masks outdoors. What's your take on that looking back?
You know, they talk about not having scientific evidence and not having studied masks in kids, but you guys are both parents, right, Sam and Jeff? Let me ask you, if you're in the middle of an outbreak that's killing 4,000 to 5,000 Americans every day, would you ever sign your kids up for a study that said, okay, you might get an intervention that might protect you, and you get nothing?
Right.
What would you say if your kids were in that situation?
Well, we wouldn't. You wouldn't put your kid in the study.
No, I wouldn't. But I'm just trying to answer the question. I would. My kids wore masks, and I was double vaxxed, and I wore masks.
Right.
Now I'm just saying, looking back, was that necessary?
So if a mask on a child fits properly, and it's a high-quality mask like an N95 or KN95, it will definitely prevent virus transmission through aerosols and through droplets. The problem is kids were wearing cloth masks, their nose was hanging out, it wasn't fitting properly on their face. In that case, it doesn't work. But if it's a good mask, it does work. In fact, social distancing also works for droplet spread, because think about how our droplets are. They fall off at 3 feet, and they fall off even more at 6 feet. Now, the thing with this virus is that it was aerosolized. We didn't know that. So it lingers in the air. And that's why this whole question of did social distancing even work kind of came into play. But it worked to reduce transmission, but doesn't fix everything.
Were you talking about would we enroll our children in a study to show that's why there are no child studies? Because
yes. During a pandemic or during an epidemic or infectious disease outbreak, it's unethical when you have something that possibly works based on scientific principles to say, okay, maybe we should do a study to prove, just like with social distancing. I wouldn't sign up for a study that says, okay, you don't get social distancing. You do, when we have historical evidence that tells us it's worked in the past. Now, again, the virus evolves, it becomes aerosolized, it changes, so the way that we behave changes. But early in the pandemic, that was the only tool we had in our toolbox, and it's really disgusting to me that now we are questioning science and scientific principles. And you had said, Jeff, every American has a right to speak up. They have to speak up within their fund of knowledge. Science is complicated, and if you don't understand virus transmission, it's not right to speak up and say something that somebody else could follow and potentially harm themselves.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because earlier I know we talked a lot about this, but Marjorie Taylor Greene has a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of Georgia. She has no scientific background whatsoever, no medical background, no legal background to talk about who should be disbarred or taken off or not be a license, right? So it's just interesting to me when we are looking for professionals in certain fields, we go to the professional who has the biggest depth of knowledge. We're not asking our brother or our sister for something that they may not be well versed in. But when it comes to science and medicine now, it seems as though doctors are the easiest people to question. It's very bizarre to me.
All right, thank you for joining us today, Dr. Coley. DBL Nation, follow Dr. Coley on social media. We really appreciate that at Pile Coley MD. Also be sure to subscribe to her YouTube page. Plus check out her podcast, Heart of Medicine, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again, Dr. Coley. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The Golden Bachelor captured the hearts of America, but is Gary really a fraud? Earlier, we caught up with two Golden Bachelor favorites, Susan Swartz and Kathy Knowles, and we asked them about it. Take a look.
So please help me welcome Golden Bachelor contestants and podcast hosts Susan Knowles and Kathy Swartz.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. All right, first up, Susan. You officiated the first ever Golden Bachelor wedding, but Gary and Teresa are already getting divorced. What went wrong? And I want you to be real honest here. Is Gary like a fraud in any way? Because they said he was like a restaurateur, and then there was
He's been under fire.
He's been under fire. We just want your opinion. You knew the guy.
So honestly, I watched these two fall in love. I witnessed it. They got caught up in a moment. There were some things that Teresa didn't want to move or quit her job. Gary's past came out. You know what? Everybody has a past.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to blame one or the other. It takes two to tango. It's just unfortunate that they ruined my perfect record of weddings.
What a good answer. Yeah. Bravo. Well done.
So, Kathy, this one's for you. What surprised you most about being on the show? Did you expect to make new besties?
Didn't find love with Gary, but found love with great friends.
Oh, I love that.
Good job.
That's awesome.
We are in St. Martin having a good time.
Get it.
So, Susan, your fellow Golden Bachelorette contestant, Joan, has been announced as the first Golden Bachelorette. How are you feeling about that?
I'm so excited for her. I'm a little nervous for her, but excited as well. I think it's going to be really difficult to break hearts and to find really true love with that little bit of time that you have.
That's fair.
But I wish her the best.
So what was happening behind the scenes? Was there a lot of rumors? Were y'all calling each other like, is it you? Is it you? Was there any disappointment?
Kathy, how many times did you call me and say, Susan, have you heard anything?
Yeah, I think that, we all knew each other so well, and we sort of thought, would it be Faith? Would it be Joan? Would it be Leslie? I knew it wasn't going to be me because I shoot my mouth off too much. But, that's who I am. We're trying to find a way to get on Joan's season so that we can get all her rejects. We can get our name and number in fast.
Or at least look at them, yeah.
That leads to my question because, yes, you were on a dating show, but let's be honest, the whole country is watching it. So really, you're just kind of putting your profile out to everybody. So I have to know what was going on with those DMs. Were people sliding? Don't tell me there were some bows in there sliding in there.
Ooh.
Don't I wish. We got a couple ones that we already raised our kids. We don't want to go there, right?
I have like 3 35-year-olds, and literally that's exactly what I said to them. I've raised my kids, move on. I really haven't had many.
We could talk to you ladies all day. Thank
them.
you for joining us. DBL Nation, you can catch new episodes of the Bachelor Happy Hour Golden Hour podcast every Wednesday and Friday on your favorite podcast platform. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks again, ladies. We'll be right back.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Take care.
The Caribbean is calling you. This June, we're celebrating Caribbean Heritage Month with Sandals by giving away 2 all-inclusive vacations to any Sandals resort of your choice. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblasslive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2. The winner will be announced on DBL June 26. Make memories for a lifetime and start entering for your chance to win a trip to any Sandals resort. Today's word of the day is sun.
Welcome back. We got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Steph, what do you have for us today? Let's shop.
Indeed, Tori. Wait till you see what I've got as well. DBL Nation, I am so excited to show everything off to you too, so let's check everything out. First up, we've got the TisCare foot massager with heat. Ooh. This deal includes 1 foot massager with a remote. Normally this is $290, very expensive. Yeah. We've got it for $119.99. That's saving 59%.
That is so smart. If you're a runner, a jogger, some kind of athlete who plays games outdoors, I'm not. You should get this.
Exactly. Now,
very nice.
Tori, this is just actually, I've never seen anything like it. This is the Art & Cook 3-in-1 breakfast maker. Are you ready?
Okay, wait. How?
The deal includes 1 breakfast maker. It's incredible because it combines a toaster oven, a coffee maker, and a griddle.
Get out of here!
So normally this is $150. We've got it for $39.99. That's saving 73%. Next up today, we've got the Dartwood Bone Conduction headphones. Ooh. So this deal includes 1 pair of headphones. They're Bluetooth, and they offer a safe listening experience because the open ear design allows you to hear ambient sounds while still providing good audio. So normally these are $50.
Okay, I mean, I kind of get that with the...
These, we've got them though, for $17.99. That's saving 64%. Last but definitely not least today, we've got the Bright Whites Gel Teeth Whitening Kit.
Cute.
It includes 3 gel syringes and 1 LED light. Normally, this is $130.
Okay, I see
We've
that.
got it for $24.99. That's saving 81%.
Hello, everyone who's going to be outside for summer smiling, outdoors. You want a nice, bright, white smile? This is an easy way to do it. Head on over, everyone, to morningsave.com to snag all these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or just scan that QR code on screen. It will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. I want to try those whitening glow strips.
Do it. You have everything else from Deal Blast.
DBL's new every day. We will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Now I'm in this camera. Goodbye, and have a good day.